the story of 50 Shades of Creative and the new brand identity. Hi, I'm Shushmita. I am a painter, a graphic designer, a copywriter, and 50 Shades of Creative is a compilation of my 12 years of experience in advertising and brand communication. Here I am to make things easier for you, simpler for you, and to make sure that you don't make the mistakes I did. And let me know how do you like my new place. Although the setup is pretty much the same, you can see my bookshelf in my background, but yeah, and the lighting is better, and there is less honking. That is the bliss in this place. Anyways, let us begin. And if you have been following my social accounts on Facebook and Instagram, you have seen that recently I have redesigned my brand, which is I have rebranded. Not exactly positioned any different, but yeah, I have redesigned my brand identity. And if you have seen the previous one, it was kind of too simple and how would I say, very flat. I would say that was very flat design. Here is to all the ones who are not creative professionals, there's something you need to know. That is, designing something for self is next to impossible. When you're a client and you approach to a designer or a creative professional to make a design for you, it is very simple, because a good designer, a good creative professional, a good copywriter, they ask you, they are reading you, and they are listening to you, and they are capturing all the highlights, and they are filtering all the negative things that are unnecessary. They are filtering them out, and then they are creating a design that is, stunning, whether you like it or not. But they pour their heart and soul into that design or that writing or that creative piece that they are doing. When a designer or a copywriter is doing the same thing for themselves, I can speak on behalf of most of the designers or creative professionals that this is nearly impossible. And the reason behind that is, when we are the person we are, it is impossible to read the highlights, and it is impossible to filter out the unnecessary, because, to us, we are, working for ourselves. And it is very much like performing a surgery on self. It's like the same thing, how you cannot perform a surgery on yourself. It is almost like that, designing for yourself. So when I was doing that design, I knew that my prime priority, which we will go through that in, and I have this book, this where I have made all the drafts and I have saved it. So you can see, if you have been following my social media, that I had my priorities, that it has to be electric. So the brand color that I have chosen are black and electric blue. Why did I do that? It's because black is a combination of all colors, and I am not speaking for the RGB tone. I'm speaking for offline. If you mix red, the color red, the acrylic or watercolor or whatever color it is that artists use, if you mix red, blue, yellow, green, brown, or all the colors together, it gives you black. So black has always been my fascination. Black is my first priority because it is the combination of all colors, and white filters out the colors. So white is, it reflects all colors. That is why you can see in light, you can see all the colors. In darkness, you see none. And I have always been fond of, conceiving everything that gives depth. If you want to create depth, you have to create some shadow. Without shadow, you cannot lift up the object. That is very philosophic. That is where what I believe in. So black was my priority because it has everything. And yes, idea is everything. Every single thing counts when you are in a creative process. Every single thing counts. And I'm sorry about the honking again. So if you enjoy something, that counts. If you hate something, that counts. If you want to reject something, that counts. Why do you want to reject that? Counts. Everything counts. So black is the all countable color. That is why I love black. And why electric blue? Because ideas are electric. What I feel like, what my motto is, and what I tell my students, my mentees, what I tell them all the time, that someone who didn't know you and someone who haven't been with you, imagine they just encountered you, and for whatever purpose, maybe for friendship, maybe for business, maybe just at a coffee shop, or maybe just at a gathering, at a party, you just met that person. Before meeting you and after meeting you, is there any difference, or are they exactly the same? Now, I don't want you to obsess over that idea of making a difference, but what you can do is always be your best self. It is okay to break down, it is okay to feel bad, but when you are in that position where you are the star of the movie of your life, you need to make a difference, and you need to always keep in mind that even a smile can make a massive, massive difference. You know why my mentor Tibaria Pailu, when I watched her watched her first time on the YouTube channel with another one of my mentor, formerly known as Eriko, now Master Sri Akashana. What captured me is her happiness, and yeah, smile as much as you can, so that makes someone feel better. Even if you empathize, even if you are sad, that makes someone feel that they are not alone and you are with them in their journey together. So that is what electric is when I am doing creative services, when I am providing brand solution, when I am helping people understand brand, and when I am teaching them. I always keep this in mind, that something new, and we all have that capability, that unique capability, that when someone encounters me, when someone has my service, the feeling they go out with is, whoa, I didn't think like this before, or this is something I have never seen before. So everything is present. It's the way you package it that is different. So that is electric, and you get goosebumps and you feel like, wow, I didn't think like this before. And that is how the process begins, and that is how you electrocute someone with that idea. This is my core idea. So that electric blue, I was sticking to it. And then came the other colors that you will know eventually. I'm not revealing all the secrets. So what something that I tell all my students is that always write whatever idea you have, write it down on a paper with a pen. Write down with your hand. If you don't like it, strike it through. You are allowed to make mistakes. Unless you are a brain surgeon, you are allowed to make mistakes. So write down on a paper with a pen, and then cut it out. Any idea, any draft, and I tell it to all the creative professionals, don't go around searching Google and just saving in a folder. When you find something you like, replicate that. As you can see, I was replicating earlier for another work. I was just replicating the template. I was replicating layout. So whenever I like something, it is one thing that I save, that is on my wallpaper or anything, but something, I just do it on a paper with a pen, because you involve your senses, and something, your brain works better when all of your senses are involved. So my first draft, very first draft was this one. You guys are seeing this in the viewers. If you are following me on Instagram, on Facebook, you will see, and LinkedIn, you will see the accurate, reflect. This is mirrored because of the phone. Okay, so you see, my idea was city, because I'm urban. The idea is urban, and I love the city. I am, this is when you are away from the city, that is another thing, but I am a city person. So the urban branding agency and everything, it's urban. So I wanted to keep it urban. And then I had 50 Shades of Creative here in, this is turquoise. So not exactly electric blue, but this was the blue I was going for. This was the blue that I was representing electricity with. So this was my first draft. And then, the person I need to thank, the person who helped me is my brand coach, Ian Lai. So yeah, you have seen how the first logo and the first identity, I just made it because I was frustrated. So many designs, and they are all so good. And what do? So I just went with it and I just put up with it, but I always knew that I had to do something better. I had to represent, and I had to make it a compact idea, a story, rather than a flat design. So I showed this to Ian, and it was too busy. You can see here. I don't think I can rotate this now while the video is going on, but yeah, it was too busy, so it was cut. I crossed it out. So this was the first idea, and then there was another idea at the same time. This is not the second idea. So this one was an option. Another option was this one, where 50 is like us, like the sun and the moon, and the shades of creative are just blended in the urban busyness. The city is busy, so this is another busyness that is adding up to the city. And yeah, it was too complicated to understand. As you can see, these are my opinion, these are Ian Lai's opinion. So this is how I made it the second time. The first time, the second option was this, but it was all. So in between, the next, there were a lot of options that I ran through Ian Lai, and he just kept revising, giving me feedbacks. Thank you, Ian, for being so patient with me. Thank you. Someday we are going to make an episode together, which was already the plan. But you understand, this year, nothing is going according to the plan. So then I just cleared my mind. I set up my priorities. My priorities were city. 50 Shades of Creative should rise above the city, because I'm telling you later. And then the electricity, it was my first priority. So these three are my priorities that I got straight. And I circled out because, let's work on that. I need a city, I need electric, and I need this to rise above. And there was this option after that. It's a neon sign on a city, but no, I didn't like it myself. Neon billboard, and I crossed it out myself because I didn't like it. I mean, a neon billboard, okay, this is good for a poster, but this cannot be a logo. This cannot be a logo. So next, I took one day break, and I stopped looking at logos. I stopped looking at samples. What I did was, I finally, that day I breathed, and I finally decided it will be a typographic art. And I always have a thing for grunge, because in 2007-8, when I started learning, I was a self-taught designer. And the only website that, back then there were not so many resources, but the website that I followed was photoshoproadmap.com. It is not like you will see it now. It used to be different. So photoshoproadmap.com, I was working 24 hours, and I was just replicating, following all the tutorials. Grunge is the love of my life. Till date, I opt for grunge. If the client is ready, I opt for grunge. So I made one design for my mentor Tibaria Pailu when she was publishing her book launch, her book collection. One design was semi-grunge, not entirely grunge, but yeah, if any of you are grunge lovers, that is another story I will some other day share with you. Let me write this down, that why do I love grunge? And yeah, I just wrote something, you don't need to. Okay, so it will be a typographic art, and I went through all the fonts. My favorite fonts are 28 Days Later and Charbroil. These two are the fonts that I set my heart on, because these two are grunge. So whoever created this font, I love you for this. 28 Days Later and Charbroil. So I started working on computer this time, because it would be a typographic art, and I was experimenting with the fonts, and the winner was the font that helped me set my priorities of keeping this city. The font is Urban Jungle. The logo that you see now is a combination of Urban Jungle and Charbroil. You are all seeing it in the mirror version, but yeah, Urban Jungle and Charbroil are the fonts that I have used. And then, of course, I have manipulated the fonts, not exactly the fonts that you see. I have manipulated. This won't be the exact font you get. So, and finally, after all the revisions and everything, you will see, let me show you the logo, the ultimate winner, the love of my life. You will see the logo. The final winner is, again, you will see it in the reflected version. So let me show you the accurate version. This is the logo, and you are seeing this in reflection. So 50 Shades of Creative, as you can see, the 50 is Charbroil, and then Shades of Creative, 50 is Charbroil and Urban Jungle, and Shades of Creative, this is Charbroil. You can see, and there are, I added some symbols, and I collected resources from DeviantArt. I collected resources from Free Pick, from DeviantArt, from Brusheasy, PSD Marked. So there are a lot of resources, as you can see. Uh, and finally, yeah, this is the love of my life. Thank you very much to Ian Lai, my brand coach. Thank you very much to Urban Jungle, Charbroil, 28 days later. And thank you very much, Free Pick, Photoshop Roadmap, Brusheasy, PSD Mart, Unsplash, and all the resources that I have gathered from, all the sites that I have gathered resources from. Thank you very, very much. And yeah, this is the happiest thing that I finally did it. This is the brand story. An idea is electric. And when you look at the logo, it represents, again, let me show you. The logo, it represents the city line, the skyline, as you can see at the very bottom. Here's the skyline, that is the signature of Urban Jungle font. And then 50 Shades of Creative is rising above, where 50 is the hero. So this is sexy. And 50 Shades of Creative, it's very sexy. It triggers and it is experimental. And then Shades of Creative is above 50. You can make it 100, and this is not exactly 50, which is why it is grunge. Now let's come back to the black, which is where all our ideas are being stored. Everything is black, everything is clouded, everything is grunge, everything is city, and then everything has a shade of creative. I have my shade of creative, you have your shade of creative, we all have our shades, and together we make the world colorful. This is why what I have said 1,000 times, and what I will be saying till the end of my life, that we all have our unique shades. Then one idea is electric amongst all these grunge ideas, all these rotten, all these torn ideas. One idea strikes out, and then it's that one shade of creative that pours down the city, the town, and changes the course of history. Yeah, it's one idea, always one electric idea that doesn't follow a template, that doesn't follow the rules, but it just works, and it makes history. That is my motto. That is the story of my life. That is my philosophy. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you very soon. If you haven't already, if this video just popped up, please subscribe so you can stay up to date with 50 Shades of Creative. Follow me on on Facebook, on Instagram, and join the Facebook group 50 Shades of Creative, where we can share everything. And happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays. This has been an incredible year, don't you think? Bye.